Hello and welcome to Lights, Camera, Lincoln, audio podcast number 1. Hello, Lydia.
Hello, Tobias.
So, Season 6, Episode 2 of The Walking Dead was released last night.
Yeah,
Viewer discretion is advised. This podcast will contain spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
What did you think?
I didn't like it as much as the first one.
See, now, I loved it.
What did you love about it?
Well, I like the violent episodes. I like the episodes where lots of people fight each other.
I'll give you that a lot.
In fact, were there any zombies in this episode? Apart from the flashback in the beginning, were there any zombies?
I'm not sure, actually. I think that's...
There was kind of like... I don't think there were any zombies that weren't people who were killed during the fight, like the zombie in the truck that crashed.
Because, I mean,
and some people who turned.
Go off.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was man on man.
Because last week's episode annoyed me. I thought it was too slow. I didn't like the cross-cutting between the black and white flashbacks and the present. I thought that kind of destroyed the tone. Neither quite engaged me because the cuts between were so sudden.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that they didn't resolve the zombie issue and we didn't find out what the horn was. But that's because we all assumed that it was a deliberate move by the wolves.
The wolves, yeah. But I am going to go against you there. I'm going to say that I think the flashbacks were good because they slowly made things unravel and make sense. And I like the kind of cliffhanger.
I think the content was good, but I just feel like... They would, on their own, they would have made a good episode, and on its own, the trying to lead the zombies from the quarry away from town would have made a good episode. But coming back to this week's episode,
oh yes, the true point.
The opening scene, the flashback where we got some Enid backstory.
Yeah. What was that? That was with the girl.
Yeah.
Her name is
Enid. And she messed that tortoise up.
I know. What even was that?
I was very surprised. Like I didn't realise because when I see a tortoise, my initial thought is, "Oh, a tortoise!
Oh, it's a tortoise.
That's cool."
Yeah.
Cute. And then the guy I was watching it with went, "Oh, she's gonna eat it," and I was like, "What? Really?" And then like immediately they cut to snap, and she didn't cook it. She didn't pull the meat off afterward. Like she just dove straight in there and ate that thing raw.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This TV show is full of zombies and that, but that was probably the most heart-wrenching moment.
So you were saying. Before the show, you didn't know what the JSS relevance was because she wrote that with tortoise bone. She was writing it on the window and on her hand. Yeah. So I didn't pick up on this until I read it on the internet afterwards. But at the end, right at the end of the episode, when she leaves a note for Carl saying "just survive somehow," and that's what it stands for. JSS, just survive somehow.
Is she reminding herself?
Presumably.
When do we see that?
So right at the end of the episode, after her and Carl have been defending the house, Carl kind of comes back downstairs and is looking for her, and he just finds she's gone. And that was...
What even was that?
I think that was the best part of the episode, was Carol setting that timer at the beginning. I didn't actually notice what time was set, but I assume about 15 minutes, half an hour, and then just kind of making you realise that all of those events happened in such a short space of time.
Yeah. It was clever. Because it didn't really mean anything, but at the same time it meant a lot.
It says something about Carl's emotional detachments that, after shooting someone, because he was pretty chilled out anyway. Like when Carol came in the house and there was people running around, Molotov cocktails flying over the windows, bodies on fire, Carl just kind of wanders in with an assault rifle. Like, you're right.
Yeah. And I mean, it says a lot about Carl filling his father's shoes with the other young boy who didn't have the guts, ironically, to kill one of the zombies.
Is it Ron?
I have no idea. I'm not good at remembering this.
Jesse's other son, the older son. Yeah, that's Ron.
The one that's got Aggie issues. But he couldn't kill the zombie, but then Carl just ran in, did the job, and that says a lot. That's kind of what Rick would do.
Yeah, I think there's something to say about Enid as well, because she has this same kind of mentality of there's no kind of end game, which Rick has. Like, other people kind of reach sort of no-go scenarios when they're just done. But Rick just keeps on fighting and keeps on surviving, and there's something of that in Enid. But speaking of Jessie... She gave that woman quite a haircut to the chest with those scissors.
I know, she didn't stop.
Which was pretty sudden for her character.
I didn't think she was going to do it in the head, but then she kind of left it a while, and then suddenly she finished the job.
I think
was logical.
It shows kind of Rick's influence, because she was abused by Pete for years and never did anything. You know, she was just kind of putting up with it, but then suddenly she jumps straight to attacking a woman with scissors.
I mean, whether you say it's Rick's influence in seeing his violence or the fact that he's gotten rid of her husband, now she has the guts herself to do it.
Interestingly, I know she has the exact same origin story as Carol. Because that's Carol. Where Carol begins is she's just coming out of an abusive relationship. Her husband dies by one circumstance or another, and she turns into a violent psychopath.
I'll tell you what.
Because Carol...
think that's going to mean she's going to lose one of her sons.
Oh.
Think about it. Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it? The makers are quite...
I don't know. I'd be happy to see either of them go. They're both kind of annoying.
I know, yes.
I don't hate them, but... Dude, Ron,
really...
just stop being a prat.
But to be honest, I'm not really feeling any of the young characters at the moment. I mean, Carl's all right.
Carl, I'm fine with him.
I think Enid's growing on me, but at first they always make them seem a bit, I don't know,
I think
not strong characters from the beginning.
Enid, she's okay, but she's not likeable. She doesn't have a personality that's enjoyable to watch. She's fine as a survivor and as a character in the world, but I don't like her.
Yeah.
You know, in the same way I like Glenn or Michonne.
Yeah.
And last week when Morgan went up to Michonne, did you take one of my protein bars?
Yeah, that was good. Oh yeah, Morgan's like.
And she just flat out denied it as well.
What has Morgan been up to? He has killed a lot of people with his stick that I'm surprised hasn't broken. Let's be real here.
I know the zombies are getting on a bit now, but he seems to mash their skulls right up with that stick.
Yeah.
Interestingly, in the whole Morgan, I don't know, peace ethos, mindset he has going at the moment is, I don't know, it's a little frustrating.
Because what happened
I'm Team Rick.
Oh yeah, definitely, all the way. They're trying to make him the bad guy, but I think
he's
doing the right thing.
They're making Rick the bad guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant,
You are Team Rick, right?
Yeah, I'm Team Rick.
Okay.
I thought you were saying they were turning Morgan into the bad guy.
Yeah, no. But they are making him seem a bit silly, as in, you know the guy, spoilers again, that is like, you wouldn't dare kill me.
The sort of the long-haired guy at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he kill him in the end?
Well, that's left vague, isn't it?
I
was sort of watching a breakdown on YouTube where someone was pointing out that because it is left open-ended. We don't know if that guy's lying unconscious on the floor, if he's run away, or if he's dead. And they kind of had that scene where Carol and Morgan kind of cross paths at the end. Yeah. Neither say anything to each other.
That was really interesting.
But they just kind of walk straight past each other. Symbolically, what does that mean? Has he gone down Carol's path? Because she perhaps, she heard what he's saying about, you don't need to kill people. She kind of had a bit of a reflective moment at the end when she was holding the cigarette. Is that her kind of reconsidering her own actions? We'll have to see.
Because she keeps, finishing Morgan's kills pretty much.
Yeah.
He'll be, sorting them out, and then she just, bam, she just goes in for the kill.
I did love that bit when Morgan's, he's disabled that bad guy, he's tying him up, and then Carol just walks up, bang!
Yeah.
He's dead.
Get on with it. I mean, what else is there to say other than the fact that she's taking the trash out?
Well, Carol went straight to Rambo mode again.
1 to 10 real quick.
Without hesitation.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what she did at the start of season 5, because, she's one of the inner circle, but she's never been one of the fighters until suddenly the group were in Terminus.
Or Rick wasn't there, because she was the one that killed the people with the virus, right?
Yeah, but that was kind of a murder. But until season 5, we didn't get to see her actually fight. And even then, she was kind of doing sort of badass old lady fighting, like she was kind of stumbling around and sniping people, and kind of she had a bit of a clumsy fight with that woman in the room with all the candles. But this episode, she was running around stabbing people like an assassin.
Lara Croft.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. Don't get me wrong, it was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And I like how we had those kind of scenes at the beginning to kind of re-establish, just in case anyone had forgotten she was a psychopath.
Yeah.
They kind of had her, when she sort of said that manipulative comments about the woman smoking, she expressed her aggressive side slightly, and then she went up to the kid whose father's been murdered and said, "Your father beat you, now he's dead. Get over it." No remorse.
Are they making her seem bad?
Well, I mean, she's a questionable character ever since she, stabbed those people who had a cold.
Yeah, true.
But I'm super excited for next week because that's the one thing. The super pack of zombies, the enormous crowd of zombies, is still on the way.
Yeah,
we didn't see them this episode.
They haven't got there yet. Short space of time. Yeah.
Because obviously this episode kind of happened halfway at the same time as last week's episode. So we've got that to look forward to.